When Voyager 1 first launched in 1977, it was little more than a machine of metal, wires, and ambition. Yet as it sailed farther and farther from Earth, it became something else entirely. It was no longer just a spacecraft. It became a symbol of humanity's reach, a voice speaking across a distance no human had ever traveled, carrying with it the essence of who we are. For decades, its faint signals threaded their way home, whispering across billions of miles, reminding us that even in the cold emptiness of space, a piece of Earth was still out there, alive in its own way. Then one day, that voice fell silent. NASA confirmed that the last coherent transmission from Voyager 1 had ended. It wasn't a gradual fade that scientists had predicted. It was abrupt, like a candle suddenly blown out in the darkness. For a moment, the world seemed to pause. The silence felt heavy, not just as a technical failure, but as an existential moment, an ending that touched everyone who had ever looked up at the night sky and felt wonder. Voyager 1 was never just about exploration. It was about defiance, the refusal to accept the boundaries of distance and time. It was about planting humanity's presence beyond the safety of our sun, about saying to the universe, "We are here, and we are reaching out." That silence struck hard because the probe was more than machinery. It was a witness. It had crossed into interstellar space, leaving the sun's protective bubble behind, and for years it had given us glimpses of a place no one had ever seen. Losing its voice was like losing a friend who had been telling us stories from the edge of forever. And aboard Voyager was its most precious cargo, the golden record. A message carefully prepared in the hope that someday, someone, or something, might find it. Etched into that record are the sounds of Earth, music, greetings in dozens of languages, even the laughter of children. It was humanity's time capsule, cast into the stars as a message in a bottle. For decades, people found comfort in knowing that our story was still being carried outward. But now, that record continues its journey in silence. The messenger has gone quiet, yet the message endures, traveling deeper into eternity. When NASA issued its red alert, it wasn't just an internal notice to engineers. To the wider world, it felt like a tolling bell. News spread rapidly, crossing borders, languages, and cultures. Suddenly, the spacecraft that once captured Jupiter's storms and Saturn's rings was no longer only a scientific tool. It became a symbol of fragility, of endurance, and of how far a small species on a pale blue dot had managed to reach. That silence was not only about the failure of a machine. It was about us. Voyager 1 had outlived every expectation. It had run on a power source no larger than a household appliance, and yet it had kept going, year after year, long after the engineers who built it had retired. Some of them never lived to see the day it finally fell silent. Its resilience had become legendary, and its end was a sobering reminder of our limits. No matter how ingenious our designs, nothing we make lasts forever. Even the most extraordinary emissary will eventually fade into quiet. But if the silence felt like an ending, it also felt like a challenge. Voyager had stretched the limits of what was thought possible. Its decades-long journey became a benchmark for human achievement. And now, with its voice gone, it leaves behind a question for future generations. How can we build machines that will last even longer, travel even farther, and perhaps one day carry not only our messages, but our descendants, into the stars? Culturally, Voyager 1 had long since transcended its status as a spacecraft. It appeared in art, music, films, and literature. Its silence struck a chord that was more poetic than technical. It was like watching a ship vanish beyond the horizon, not destroyed, but simply unreachable, carrying our story into a sea we can never cross. In that sense, its final silence became less of a failure and more of a transformation, from an active explorer to a silent ambassador, bearing humanity's presence forever outward. And perhaps that is the greatest legacy. Voyager 1 proved that exploration is not about conquest or profit. It is about curiosity. It is about the human impulse to reach out, even knowing the universe may never respond. Its silence reminds us that the cosmos owes us no answers, no acknowledgement. Yet we reach anyway. Because that is who we are. The end of Voyager's voice is not the end of its story. It continues to travel, farther now than any human-made object has ever gone, carrying its golden record into the unknown. Long after Earth has changed, long after cities have risen and fallen, that tiny probe will still be drifting, a small echo of humanity cast into the ocean of stars. Its silence is haunting, yes, but also beautiful. Because it reminds us that even silence can speak. It tells us that our greatest achievement was not just sending a machine into interstellar space. It was daring to send a piece of ourselves, knowing it might never return. Voyager's last message was silence, and in that silence we hear. When the news was first announced that Voyager 1 had fallen silent, it resonated deeply within the scientific community. This was not merely the cessation of a signal from a distant device. It represented the fading of a beacon that had endured for almost 50 years, whispering information across billions of miles. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 became the farthest human-made object, a solitary explorer navigating the outer solar system and beyond, into the expanse of interstellar space. For decades, it served as humanity's envoy, transmitting data, discoveries, and even a golden disk filled with Earth's languages, music, and images meant for unknown recipients. Its quiet end felt more than just technical, it struck at the essence of existence. Voyager 1 had exceeded its anticipated lifespan. Engineers had forecasted a decline in its systems many years earlier, yet it consistently surpassed expectations. Fueled by the gradual decay of plutonium in its generators, the spacecraft's longevity emerged as a testament to human persistence and creativity. With each year, its team powered down instruments to conserve energy, extracting every last bit of communication. The spacecraft weathered solar storms, the emptiness of space, and relentless cosmic radiation. It became a narrative of survival as much as exploration. However, when NASA confirmed the absence of a signal, it was akin to a sudden hush after years of extraordinary resistance. This silence carried a significance beyond engineering principles. It served as a reminder of our vulnerability. If even this resilient messenger could become mute, what does that say about us? For 50 years, Voyager 1 had been a witness, sharing glimpses of distant worlds we had never before seen so closely. Jupiter's tumultuous storms, Saturn's majestic rings, and the fragile blue dot of Earth suspended in a vast expanse. Its silence felt like losing a trusted companion who ventured into darkness on our behalf. NASA's red alert was, in technical terms, a notification of signal loss. Yet symbolically, it resonated like a tolling bell, marking the conclusion of a significant chapter in human history. The golden record aboard Voyager heightened the emotional weight of this moment. The disk, filled with greetings in countless languages, Earth's natural sounds, and diverse music, had always provided solace. It implied that even if humanity were to vanish, a trace of us would continue onward. Yet now, the very spacecraft carrying it became silent, unable to communicate with its creators. The paradox was striking. A messenger that still held our voice but could no longer reach out to home. This shift transformed Voyager into something beyond mere machinery. It morphed into a drifting time capsule, a ghostly vessel navigating endlessly through the waters of interstellar space. Globally, the news attracted more than just scientific interest. Individuals who previously had little concern for space exploration suddenly felt the profound impact of its silence. Communities engaged in discussions, writers pondered its significance, and artists envisioned the solitary probe journeying through the void. Voyager represented more than hardware, it encapsulated the spirit of imagination. Its silence resonated like the waning notes of a song that had echoed through generations. What started as a scientific initiative evolved into a narrative about humanity itself. Voyager's silence also highlighted the essence of communication. The signals were astoundingly faint, weaker than a simple watch battery, yet they traversed 14 billion miles to be captured by Earth's space network. These transmissions always arrived late, delayed by over 20 hours across the vast void. In essence, humanity was perpetually listening to Voyager's history, never its here and now. Hence, when the final silence arrived, it wasn't immediate. By the time we realized the signal was lost, Voyager's voice had already faded many hours earlier. This lag lent a peculiar poignancy, as if we were bidding farewell to a voice that had already departed unnoticed. Voyager 1's Odyssey remains one of humanity's most significant accomplishments. It outlived its creators, surpassed its original design, and ventured into territories that human hands won't reach for generations. Its silence signifies both an end and a beginning. Though the spacecraft may no longer speak, it leaves a legacy that will inspire future explorers, fresh missions, and new aspirations for discovery. The red alert marking its silence served not only as a notice of loss but also as a testament to humanity's bravery, curiosity, and resolve to push past the boundaries of the conceivable. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for further explorations into the mysteries of space. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What does Voyager's final silence signify for you? Share your insights below.